Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day, and thank you for taking the time to support the channel. My name is Hello Good Game, and I'm pleased to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena deck guide video, playing Simic Tokens. This is a very merry mid-range deck within the blue and green color combination. We'll be playing as many tokens as we can, and then bouncing all non-tokens back to the owner's hand, at which point we can attack, and that's acting as a one-sided field wipe. If you're unfamiliar, well, it's all building around the Season of Weaving, one of my favorite cards of the new set. So let's get down, break down this deck. Let's in-depth for you, discussing the strategies and synergies held within, providing you with a deeper understanding how to pilot this deck effectively, right? Furthermore, we'll demonstrate in our ranked gameplay footage against the best decks as well as players, really helping cement those individual playlines for the specific meta in which we find ourselves in today. And of course, we're going to wrap up with our concluding thoughts, channel news, deck review, right? So now that I'm done throwing up, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And let's break down the deck, okay? Building around OKO, the Ringleader. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he makes elk, right? -1, 3/3. Thank you very much. And furthermore, at the beginning of combat on your turn, OKO will become a copy of another target creature you control, except it has hexproof. And worst case scenario, it can be an elk, right? But best case scenario, it's going to be a Phyrexian token from Nissa. Now, Nissa's a little expensive. For 7 mana that you can reduce to as low as 5 if you're paying 2 life for each Phyrexian green here. Again, that will reduce her starting loyalty by 2 for each of those as well. So maybe only 3 starting loyalty for 5 mana, and then you're going to go up to 5, and then finally 7 if you do pay all 7. That's what completed is. But the +1 is what we're talking about, creating an XX green Phyrexian horror creature token where X is Nissa's loyalty. It's going to be 4, it's going to be 6, it's going to be 8, if that's your first activation of it. And coming back to OKO, becoming a copy of one of these tokens as a 5/5, a 7/7, so on and so forth, you're going to have a good time. And that's, really nice as they're planeswalkers, right? So if you do get hit with a field wipe, which typically really hurts a lot of these token-based decks, which we're experimenting with, yes, you can play around them, but thanks to the tokens coming from an external source, right? Like these planeswalkers, you can kind of dodge the Sunfall. You're dodging the temporary lockdowns for the most part and can continue generating those tokens and accumulating that value, right? So that's the name of the game, right? The whole deck is based around that. We have OKO, we have Nissa, and then we have Season of Weaving. Obviously, you're familiar with this if you follow the channel for 6 at sorcery speed, 5 paw counters, and then you can choose one more than once. Just spend your counters, okay? 1 paw counter, draw a card. 2, create a copy of a token or artifact that you control. Nissa tokens, obviously. And then 3, return all non-token, non-lands to the opponent's and owner's hands, because it's going to do ours as well, right? So this is really cool, right? So your tokens remain, your planeswalkers will bounce back. We do have some other non-land permanents that we'll be sending back as well. More on that momentarily, but this is really what we're looking to accomplish with the deck. So it's a little bit expensive, right? So we're going to get there in a hurry, thanks to the Invasion of Segovia for 3 mana. It's a battle with 4 protection counters. When it enters, you create 2 1/1s with trample. And then if you flip it, you'll get the Tyrant, a 3/3, giving non-creatures Convoke, right? That's our planeswalkers. That's Season. Very, very good. And then we can also, at the beginning of our end step, untap 4 target creatures. So keep in mind, this isn't a token, and you will bounce it back, but you can still utilize that Convoke. And then if Invasion happen, in your hand because you sent it back, you can replay it, and that's just more tokens. So it's not that bad. At which point you should have enough land that you're not relying on the Convoke, but you very much are so early game as your ramp. Okay? On that note, Tender Wild Guide, facilitating the ramp out. 2 mana, 2/2, tapping for any color, can also tap to put a counter on it. Offspring for 2, which is not bad, making a copy of it. So if you do bounce it back, you can actually offspring it later and get additional value if you want. We don't mind it. And, you know, I guess it makes a good transition to the other offspring card. We're not talking about ramp anymore. This is just ETB value, and we'll make this a lot more consistent, right? 1/2 with the trainer for 2, offspring for 4, again a 1/1 token copy of it. And when it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a non-land, non-creature from among them, put it into your hand, rest in bottom in random. Okay, so this can, you know, help you find the Nissa. It can help you find the OKO, the Seasons, even the Invasion, right? Very good card for us. Bounce it back, recast it with the offspring, additional value, finding even more cards, you know, to rain down on our opponent with. We can recycle Season with the talent, which is pretty cool. Not only does it make a token, which doesn't get bounced, but then when you level it up to 4, you can grab an instant or sorcery from your grave to your hand, allowing you to cycle the Season, because you're going to cast the Season, send this back, recast this, grab the Season back from the grave, so on and so forth. Level 3 for 6 if you want. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue and red otter with prowess, which is pretty decent, but fairly expensive, so I wouldn't, you know, make it my main goal or priority, but if that's all you can do, that's all you can do, right? And, finally, as our ETB creature, we can talk about the Sandstorm Salvager. 3 mana, 1/1. When it enters, create a 3/3 token, which is great. And we can pay 2, tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each token we control, which is, you know, a few. And they're going to gain trample, which is pretty cool. So that's consistent damage, even if they have blockers, right? So in a perfect world, they don't have tokens. We're just sending everything back. We hit with our tokens. That's fine. But sometimes they have their own tokens. And now we need to make sure that our tokens are bigger and badder than theirs. So we're using the Salvager. It can pump up by that trample damage. Nissa on that note as well. Believe it or not, these Planeswalkers have a few other activations. -1, destroying artifact or enchantment. This is very, very good in the current meta, but what I'd like to talk about is the -7. Until the end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 for each forest you control and gain trample, right? So there's an additional, you know, damage output if you do find yourself running into token blockers, not only through the Sandstorm, but also through Nissa, which is quite nice. And again, at the end of the day, just increased damage output is going to get you the win a little bit earlier on as well. So that's not a bad thing. Again, the additional control through the -1 is nice. Moving on to some control, you know, we do have plenty of it. In-deck interactions, never a bad thing. Into the Floodmaw is going to bounce things early game. Obviously, Season's bouncing them late game, but, you know, we don't start the game with 6 mana, so here we do. With 1, via the Floodmaw, instant speed, returning creature to its owner's hand that our opponent controls. If we gift them a tapped fish, we can actually bounce a non-land permanent, which is pretty cool, right? So anything goes. We will also utilize the Phantom Interference here. 1 mana, instant speed as a spree with a +1, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, which is pretty decent. But also pay 3, create a 2/2 with flying, which really works with the deck. And then Cosmic Hunger, you know, just kind of chilling if we need it. 2 mana, instant speed. Creature we control is going to deal damage equal to its power to creature, planeswalker, or battle. And, you know, sometimes we just like to flip the invasion, right? We don't always get a clean hit for 4. Sometimes we only hit it for 3. We don't have a Nissa creature out. Maybe it's an elk that's hitting it. It's left at 1, and maybe that cleans it up. It can also hit planeswalkers, clean them up. If there's any, you know, creatures blocking you, that's fine. You know, we're talking about tokens being annoying with Season because it doesn't bounce. Floodmaw will eat tokens, which is really nice. Again, you can recycle this with the talent as well. Have 1 talent dedicated to cycling the Maw if there's a lot of tokens. The other can do the Season, or, you know, just kind of determine which deck type you're playing against and then act accordingly. Imagine that. Yeah, that's the deck. You know, we do have the passage here, pulling in those basics for us. The Vinestalk as well as a creature land. Pretty decent. The Coast for consistency on the duels alongside the Sanctum. And then the Argoth is here to create more tokens. 2/2s at sorcery speed. Don't forget, they are at sorcery speed. So that's going to be important. It's in tapped unless you control a legendary creature. So that, you know, that's always. And then, you know, some basics, like I said, for the passages to pull. And yeah, I'm having a great time with this deck. We're winning a lot of games. I don't know, it's just because it's so unexpected, but I do not mind. It's a lot of fun, and you know, this season of Weaving card is gonna be pretty problematic. So, yeah, I don't know. I like it. So you see, like, I will talk about it at the end of the video. After today's gameplay footage, I've got a few more words. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for the follow. Do take care and enjoy today's gameplay. Up at bat first. Let's go. Land's not looking great. It's okay to mulligan. This looks much better, right? It's gonna be far more consistent, and we are no longer relying on luck, right? And I think that's going to be a, you know, key lesson in this game is mitigating all forms of variance will be in your favor almost every single time. You know, the less something changes, you know, the fewer variables that exist within something, the easier it is to plan, right, and execute with. Take a grin, obviously, checking those for Nissa. Okay. It'll be 4 next turn. Not quite 5, but... well, never mind then. Do we rinse and repeat? I mean, I don't mind. This way we get an explore. We know they're banned control. Avi. Pretty good card to keep, right? I think. Oh, you are going to be heartbroken. I smell scoop pie. Yeah, we just play for whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That hurts, but hey, you know, some of these things are required in life. We have to make sacrifices. Get ahead. Oh! Boy, oh boy, is that getting ahead. Kazunte. Almost like a level 4 sneeze. We better be careful. Immediate plus. Let's just hold up counter magic at this point. Correct? What you doing over there? They're not countering us. They're just drawing and discarding. So I definitely don't counter that. We leave it. What is this line on the side about? You see that? Haters. We could have explored to 4 and flipped it. And then had counter magic open as we would have untapped. But I can't confirm that that's not a land. Right? So if it's a land, we don't get the +1. And then we've dropped our guard for nothing. Right? Because... uh-oh. I do not appreciate that. I do not appreciate that. I bet not. Well, we got them with a zinger, right? So we deserve it. I mean, we could take our 2/2 back, but I don't think that's necessary. We could also bounce it. No, this is artifact. or enchantment. Holy. That's quite good. Well, I mean, we've got them thinking about it at least, right? Getting it out's the hard part. Having it survive something entirely separate. Specifically against a control deck. You know, there's layers to this. The first being counter magic and now spot removal. Which they have, you know, quite a few of. So, you know, I straight up don't mind this. Because they've tapped out. Tony tapped out. I mean, yeah. Okay. How do you not? Let's convoke, obviously, because we just untap ourselves. Then we get to keep that mana up. We could also convoke the counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should we grab something back? Yep. And then we're still convoking. With ease, we have 2 blue sources. Right? No problem. And this is what it was all about. Hitting for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 14 maybe. Oof. Oof. Keep Ma up, I suppose. That would force another field wipe. I think we might just want to draw. Yeah, we have enough creatures for the invasion. We played a land. Yeah, but we're not discarding something else. Nothing with haste. Right, it's got Summoning Sickness. It entered this turn, so just chillin'. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even if they hit us with a field wipe, you know, we have our 2 planeswalkers big chillin', right? Ooh, well, I mean, that's a card. 4 life, 2 creatures, no draw. I like Beza. Think it's pretty cool. I guess we're just gonna go in for lethal, right? Bounce a token. Rain. Find a goodie. Well, not quite, but kind of. Good for later. And then more drawing. Looking for the good stuff, huh? That's okay. Become 7/7, which is really good. And we smash with everything. That's going to force blocks on the, so these smaller ones can go through because they're forced to block the bigger ones. Good game. I've really been having a lot of fun using OKO with Nissa. Nissa's Plus makes these big tokens, and then OKO just becomes a copy of it. And you don't actually have to have a creature in play. You're just using your planeswalkers. Let's keep 7. I'm playing pretty slow here. Up until 3. It is what it is. Hey, that's quite good. I don't want to really play this because I've got removal. What else do you do, though? Really going right for it. You do a bat, so that's actually really good. Maybe we get away with it. If we don't have the land to ramp ahead of them, and I don't think we do, we're going to have to do it through the Convoke. Maybe they just play a land. Okay. We're going to look for the land again post-combat. Push up Glissa. That's good. Oh my god. I'm in danger. They've actually probably tossed that for a land. Yeah. They have really good bowlers. Well, I need to get this out. One of the octopus to defend Glissa or it kills the golem. Missing our land drop hurts. They're on 4. Yikes. For reals though, right? Double draw. Greedy. What else though? May as well. Meh, we'll hit seasons. I hope they tap the Scrap Gorger for land again. That would be helpful for me. Immensely so. Thank you. That's very much appreciated. Hey, we get the land too. Hallelujah. God is good. Stop it. I don't want to pay life. We're gonna go island. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's keep it back. We're gonna need to defend Glissa again. Unless we just dunk on her. No, we can't do that. We should just bounce it now, though. And then we don't even have to block it. Well, we may as well wait. It's instant speed. There's no problem. And we're not really... Like, we can still use Hunger with the... So it's no problem. We're just gonna chill out. Big Challenge. Hey, this looks nice, though, right? We're ready to strike. We, had a game plan. Let's... Ooh. Okay, that's actually really bad for me. Okay. I mean, we would be able to remove it. Okay, there we go. Oh, great. I'll land. And we have no more Convoke. Ooh. I like you. I see 4, 5. Do like you for 2. That gives us 2, 3. We don't really have an attack though, yeah? Been a big chill. I mean, we lost our bro, so the season's kind of not our main goal anymore. It kind of is, but let's just make sure we're going turn for turn. Oh. Well, we would just bounce that. Kind of annoying, but this is still our main goal. I think the 2/2 is worth it. They're almost tapped out. Right, we just lose an octopus here. That's no problem. No attack. Interesting. We could push the team up nicely. Eight, 13. I think that's acceptable. $14 with the Salvager down to 2. Does it get better? We have hopefully a Vine Stock on a 5th land that could finish the game. Good game, my friend. That's fantastic. Again, just take your time, identify what your opponent's playing, and navigate around it. Well, if that's not a good hand, I don't know what is. Just kidding. We're testing you. Why was that hand bad? It didn't have any land, HGG. Oh, okay. You were paying attention. Can we get rid of this? Do I need it? I mean, it's removal. You should probably keep it. You don't know me. Can't tell me what to do. I live my own life. Let's Fable Passage first. We don't have a 1-drop. Let's just get it out of the way in case we don't find that 4th land, right? It can be a blue source. Then we have double blue, double green. 1 island, please. Okay, I mean, well, that's fine too. Hello, hello, hello. Tender Wild Guide. Okay. Goodbye. So sad. I shall mourn. Control decks are good. Control decks are good. Imagine that. I mean, as long as I continue to hit my lands, do not mind. Looking, I actually quite a bit. Tokens make me angry. I'm the only one allowed to play with tokens. You fail? Ooh, that's a good one too. That's a good one. It is, how do you say, an artifact though. And we just take it. It's a good habit. Get blasted. We could wait, sure. But why bother? Just take it. They have a 2 mana or 1 mana, 2 damage. Yeah, like Torch the Tower, I guess. They may as well sacrifice the Forge to take the Scry. Absolutely. Good for you. Good for you. Still needed to be done. Maybe I was impatient there and get blasted, but technically we would have survived if we waited. But then here's another one, right? So that's, you know, I'm going to take that right out of the question. Okay. Play it. Push it up. Grab our Mozzie Dozzy. Pass over. You practicing HGG? No. Just kidding. Hey, that's a pretty good joke. We passed the phase. Or our turn. Take the damage. Only 2. It's going to get far worse than that. Right into the future here. Okay, yeah. I mean, they've got a good advantage. Them holding back is it's hurting my feelings quite a bit here. Should we attack first in case we need to interact? Maybe. That doesn't seem like a bad idea. We're only missing 1 damage. And like they're at 23, so I think if we were to just go for it, maybe pull an interaction. Interesting. Can I utilize that now? Not really effectively. I mean, yes, but again, I don't think worth it. No interaction, hey? Maybe I just Thunder Trap then. Save Weaving. And then we can get additional Thunder Trap value. Because technically, the more value we get before we season, the better. Oh, okay. Not terrible. One extreme or the other here, huh? I guess we just need more tokens. Like, where's another Nissa? Right? Remember that time I was a little bit eager with my Nissa? Certainly wish I wasn't at this point. I don't know. Like, you know, would we have survived if we didn't deal with it? Probably could have. See, can I have another one, please? Though I guess that's what I'm getting at. Pretty please, Mr. Shuffler. Oh, that's quite good. Okay, I think it's ready to send it back. There's a nice draw in here, right? Send it back. ETBs go off again, which is nice. Hello, how are you? Hi. How you doing? Yo, can I get your number? You gotta stop doing that, dude! Wouldn't it behoove me to not just take those ETBs again? We have 7 mana. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You think they have single target removal? I kind of do. What else do you do? Pay life? No thanks. Can I do that? Oh, it's 4 green. We have to. It's 4 green. I only have 3. Oh, we still get good value here, though, and that's fine by me. They need, again, you know, a Sunfall, a Lockdown, get lost to deal with the Planeswalker. They have, you know, they've got plenty, right? They've got the Get Lost, they have the Helix, they have the Tower, they have these attackers as well with Trample, so, you know, it's some stuff. Here's one Get Lost. Yeah, it's good. Counter spells are good. Push up our token creature, I guess. Oh, man, I don't think so. You can go. 1 is fine. 37 in library. Let's just start stacking tokens. But again, we don't want to be too aggressive with because it's easy for them to take those tokens. It's kind of a hard matchup. We'll try our best. It would be a lot easier if we didn't have 7 life. We spent so much of the beginning just trying to survive, right? Okay, there's that perfect card that they happen to have second of. Cool, dude. We would be facing the exact same turn, which does not work out in our favor. Well, we have this, but... Well, let's make a blocker. I think that's appropriate. There's no way they have another, and it's only at 1, so I think if there was a time to let down our guard, it would be now, while the consequence isn't so aggressive. Ooh, okay. That would have played around our counter magic. Right, so that's kind of why we threw that other copy, right? It becomes less relevant as the game goes on. Once this person's got 6 mana out, it's, you know, pretty easy to play around. Specifically when they know it's there, you know? I mean, we got blocks, that's fine. Oh, really? Why wouldn't they just use their removal spell there? They probably still will. It's just a matter of sequencing it. Because what if I didn't block? Then they could save the removal. Oh. I would have maybe bargained the token for a scry. But, I don't know. Life's tough. Do we just bounce that Archangel? Or do we attack it down? I think we just bounce it, don't we? Oh, the token doesn't bounce. Keep that in mind, HGG. But ETBs are out. Another otter. And I'm going to bounce this before they can cast it. Well, no, we'll have to double bounce. Yes. We are tossing an OKO or an interference. We have to really make this work and make it work quick. I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Yeah, that's not enough, but we're going to try. We need to do some shenanigans here for sure. Segovia could have went as well, I guess. Lands in tapped. You know they're going to play it. They have to. It would be disrespectful not to. I said, this is where things get weird. They don't even have another white. They're going to blame the auto tapper. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I understand. We had the play line to, you know, fix it next turn anyways. And maybe we can do that the following turn. We might actually gain a turn there if they don't get another untapped land, but we'll see. They don't like that. That hurt. The auto tap on this forge was brutal as a white source when it could have tapped a mountain. So we need 2 mana, 3 mana. We have 8, that gives us 5. I want, I think we have another Nissa, don't we? There's 3 in the deck. Okay. Let's start to put in some damage. We have 6 mana up. I want to save it for interaction on stuff like this. I can't use a counter spell on this. But I think we can easily just fight. Prowess goes up. We still have 4 mana up. We need 3. There's the block. Here's our hit. It's pretty good. We have lethal next turn. Have we successfully navigated? We need only 2 blue. We can play this. Going for it. I mean, here it is. Let's see. I only have 6 life. It's just a double lightning helix and I'm dead, right? So, you know, well, I mean, we can see the cards in their hands, so they don't have that. But I've won. Did they get an untapped land here? I wasn't paying attention. No, that was untapped. Ooh, paying life. And they're manually tapping because the auto tapper last turn. Oh, and we, because of that, get to do what we were going to last turn, this turn. And they can see it. Which is so sad. I'm crying for them. Only was an untapped land. So first it was the auto tapper, and then it was a tapped land. Are you kidding me? I feel for you, opponent. I am just... I understand all too well, you know? I'm sure many of us do. It was a really good game, though. Very good game. We navigate against literally what I would consider the best deck right now. Boros Control, oh, so good. They see it. They're not impressed. Again, rightfully so, the auto tapper. We could have stepped around it doing what we're doing this turn, which is great. So they would have not had the opportunity because it would have ended in a counter, and that means it would be in the grave. However, if this is a second copy, then it's a different story, right? So I'm pretty sure that we still would have navigated around it, even with the correct land being tapped. However, maybe not. There's a chance, and I don't know that because we don't see this last card. But if that last card was another temporary lockdown, then just what a tragedy. Looking like a good game to me, my friend. Typically, the rope is going to signify that. I see it. They see it. Not like it's hidden information. There's no other option. If they had a 2-mana, 3-damage spell, which doesn't exist, but theoretically, like this other known card could be that too. Fantastic match. It's too bad it ends in a rope like this, but you know, I get it. You pour your heart and soul into these longer control matches, and you still can't get the W. But keep playing, you will. It's a really good deck. You know, not my first. Hard interaction with it, and I imagine there'll be many more to come. Right? It's always a good fight. You know, we hear that argument a lot. It's like, oh, you can't play a token deck, because I've really been obsessed with the token decks recently, because Season of Weaving is just like such a fantastic card for me. I do very well with like expensive blue bounce spells. You may remember my success with Izzet Giants in Kaldheim with the Cyclone Summoner. Yeah. Oh, man. Daddy's home. So this is quite reminiscent of that, and I'm very much enjoying it, and it wants you to build around tokens, and I get it, temporary lockdown absolutely destroys tokens, but you can navigate it, and this is proof here. All right, then. So additional thoughts. We are running into these schools of thought, right, where you run tokens because Season of Weaving is so good, right? But then you don't run tokens because we're in an aggro meta, everyone's running temporary lockdown, and that's terrible, right? So I enjoy how both schools of thought or opinions can be correct, right? You know, we dominated the lockdown today, but tomorrow the lockdown will dominate us. And that is just, I think, a sign of the times. You know, Banned and Restricted came out. We've seen no reason to adjust Standard or Alchemy, which is pretty cool. Obviously, I wouldn't mind some temporary events where they're testing, you know, gathering feedback from the community as to some potential alchemy rebalances. I find it's often we get a alchemy rebalance where bad cards are getting better, right? It's like a limited card, a 2/3 zombie, and they're like, it's for 3 mana, no words, and they're like, well, you know, it's gonna be 3/3 with Death Touch now. Groundbreaking, I know, right? Why can't we, and maybe you don't jump right into it. Maybe you're not like, oh, here's the changes we made. Maybe we do a transitional event, gather data, maybe multiple events, you know, and maybe it tracks as a 5/5. Maybe it only draws 3 cards. I don't know. These are the things that we could test and gather the data on. not only for this set and the current rotation, but the future sets to come and the card development that, that hasn't even taken place yet, right? So, a bit of a shame, in my opinion, that that's not happening. However, on that same note, I'm the devil's advocate. I'm always looking at both sides for some reason. It's the trader in me. The meta is great. So why would you need a ban, right? But it doesn't mean we shouldn't be looking to improve, because we can. So this deck works. Boros control works. It all works. The meta is great. Very fun to be able to play an original deck every day, not absolutely get stomped out by the same deck. You can get some wins here and there. Nothing's that god mode that it's absolutely never losing, even though sometimes it may feel that way because, a lot of mono red decks out there that beat me, but you got to remember they're also losing every second game, right? They just play a lot is the thing. Their games per minute is quite high in comparison to some of the mid-range and control decks. So I know that doesn't really have much to do with this deck, but I thought I'd share my opinion there. Season of Weaving. I like this card. It's pretty cool. Nissa with OKO, I think, is something that we're going to see more of. And you know what? Season fits right on top of it. Perfectly so. Pretty proud of this one. Maybe what? Well, there goes my hand. So that hurt. But I think Wild Guide could go. Tender Wild Guide, more like Tender Hand. Maybe that's not great. The Thunder Trap Trainer was fantastic, though. I really enjoyed it. The Wild Guide ramp is cool, but maybe we could find a different way to ramp, question mark. Maybe there's treasures. Because treasures don't bounce. Things like this. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the deck. How could we improve it? Are there any cards that you might like to, test within this build? Don't test with them without me. I like to test with cards too. Speaking of that, 3 steps ahead. Okay. Otter Ball, making a token. Well, so it's 3 steps counter, make a token, draw. Cool. Otter Ball, make a token, cast from grave, make a token. Dance, grab land, make token. Cool. Trostani, make token, draw cards. Decent. Return land token, not bad. Slime, okay. What if we had a whole bunch of slimes in this deck? What's the best token to play? This one. Okay. Teferi makes some tokens. Familiar, we were running before the Wild Guide and then convoking the fetch quest, but we don't have any creatures or enchantments. It's pretty disappointing. Works good, though, if you could find a good creature or enchantment. The Redemption makes a token. Cool. Search for a creature again. Don't have one. Treaty, land, token. Intrude the Mind, draw, card advantage token. Common Good, copy tokens. That was actually the card that we started with, but it felt like a win more. Felt like you maybe didn't need it. But it's cool. And then maybe land tokens through the woods. But pretty expensive. But with the Convoke, maybe you make it work. But then what are you using those lands on? Like, where does the ramp end, right? So I just like to make these 4 tokens, and I like to have OKO become a copy of them, and I like to bounce all the non-tokens and bash. Pretty cool. Hope you like the deck. Cheers. Like, comment, subscribe, as always. Join the community Discord if you ever want to share your own deck, and do have an absolute magical day. I'll see you soon in the next.